So in this video, we're going to be talking about the moon in Taurus in the first house, natal placement. So if you have this placement, then you are in the right place. With that being said, we can just get started by explaining what the moon means, because then we can apply it to the sign of Taurus. So generally speaking, the moon shows us a resource that we depend on, whether physical or non-tangible. And it's also the way that we like to solve problems in life, and it's how we come to answers or to solutions to things. The reason why is because the moon rules Cancer, and Cancer is the sign after Gemini. Gemini is the sign of thinking, and it's the sign of the mind. So what comes after is the intuition or the conclusion or the hypothesis, which is never definite. You know, a hypothesis is never proven, and it's only demonstrated. And that's why Cancer rules intuition, and that's why the moon shows us our problem-solving capabilities. And it does very well in Taurus, because Taurus is a sign of practicality and realism. So people that have the moon in Taurus, in a general sense, they are quite resourceful individuals. And you tend to have a practical mindset or approach to solving problems. Also, when, like I was saying, when it comes to solving problems, the moon shows us the resources that we depend on. That's why the moon shows comfort, it shows security, our home life, because it's just what it is that we depend on, whether on an emotional level, physical level, mental level. The moon just gives us comfort because it's that resource that we go to, you know, and like I was saying, it doesn't have to be physical, but in this case, in Taurus, it would be more physical, but we'll cover that in a second. But what I was trying to say is, you know, it doesn't have to be a physical resource. Sometimes a resource can be solitude. Some people that have the moon in a certain position, part of how they find comfort would be solitude, for example, and this is something they depend on. So that's just for those of you guys that want to understand the moon a little bit better. We all have different things that give us comfort and different things that we depend on as crutches. So with that being said, with the moon in Taurus, what you depend on is you depend on your wealth, your finances, or your very practical, tangible resources. So you're very objective problem solver, and you like to solve problems with blocks, with building blocks, and with objects, or with things that are objective. So a lot of times you guys like to put together plans, or you guys like to have an idea of all the variables that will play into the solution or into the situation that you're getting yourselves into. So you guys always like to be aware of all the factors and keep track of what's the outcome, and you guys like to make it practical, make the solution work. Now, with that being said, the sign of Taurus is about things that matter, because it's an earth sign, it's the fixed earth sign. So it's about not only money and value, but just matter in general, like physical matter. So with the moon in Taurus, what it shows is that your emotions tend to matter. So when I think of the moon in Taurus in the first house, I think of somebody that likes to solve problems and has an objective approach to life, and somebody whose feelings and whose opinions are respected to a certain extent, because your intuition matters. That's what moon in Taurus means. So that means like it usually comes in the form of a practical idea or like a practical plan, or you utilize practical variables in order to communicate a solution or in order to solve problems. So whenever you express your feelings, they tend to matter to other people in a general sense as well. So like when you give your opinion or your intuition about things, it tends to come from a very respectable and objective place. And that is just the lens that you view the world through, because the ascendant and the first house shows us our perception, the way that we view things. With the moon being here, this shows that you're guided by intuition. And since the moon is in Taurus, you're guided by resourcefulness and by this desire to solve problems in a practical sense. You're also very patient. You are quite generous as well. Because a lot of times other people depend on you for resources because they see you as a crutch, or like somebody that can be depended on, or somebody that has all the resources to help. Even if it doesn't mean money, like people can always just come to you and ask you for advice, and you're able to break down a practical plan of how they can get from point A to point B. That's what the moon in Taurus means in a general sense, and especially in the first house. And this aspect of yourself becomes a part of your identity. So this is how you see yourself, and this is also how you do things when it's in the first house. So with that being said, I think I covered most of what I wanted to for this video. Hopefully it wasn't too scattered, but if you enjoyed and you saw yourself in any way throughout this video, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to this channel. For natal chart readings and inquiries, check the link in the description to see my Patreon, where I occasionally post other content that doesn't get on YouTube. And I also do a free natal chart reading for each one of my Patreon subs. So anyways, I will see you guys sometime soon in another video. Peace.